Hello everybody, this is the notes for section 1.5, angle pair relationships. You may as well go ahead and hit pause and copy this stuff down, including the pictures. All this stuff is important. So go ahead and do that, please. Okay, so what we're talking about is, like it says, angle pair relationships. If you have a couple of angles, there's a very good chance that there's something about them that are in common, or they may add up to be certain things. So complementary angles basically just means they add up to be 90 degrees. They don't have to be right next to each other. They can be adjacent or non-adjacent, as the picture says, but their measurements have to add to be 90. So adjacent angles, as it says in the definition, two angles that share a common vertex and a common side. So right here, these are adjacent. They have a common vertex. Angles 1 and 2 have this side in common. You take angle 1 plus angle 2, you get the 90 degrees. Over here, non-adjacent, nothing about these angles are in common. But whatever angle 3 is, you add it to angle 4. Angle 3 plus angle 4. And I should be putting little measurements things here. That equals 90 degrees. They're complementary angles. They're just not adjacent to each other. Similar idea for supplementary. Supplementary angles, again, add up to be 180 degrees. When they are adjacent to each other, common vertex, they share a side. So angle 5 plus angle 6 equals 180. Measure of angle 7 plus the measure of angle 8 equals 180. That's supplementary. All right, the next set is very similar to the next definition. The next definition is very similar to supplementary. They're called a linear pair. Basically, you have a linear pair when you have adjacent supplementary sides. So looking at this picture here, angles 1 and 2, they are adjacent, again, because they share common vertex. They have a side in common. And what's happening, when you add angle 1 to angle 2, you're just forming this straight angle, which is a line, hence the name, a linear pair. There's two of those angles, they're supplementary, so angles 1 and angle 2 adds up to be 180 degrees. Okay, so a linear pair, you'll see that term a lot. The next term is called a vertical angle, or vertical angles. And I've left a blank here, and I want you to do the same thing. Try something a little bit different, because you're going to fill in this definition, and then when you see this next thing, you're also going to fill in the bottom part here. Vertical angles are always something to each other. So let me get to this thing. Here we go. All right, this is a program called GeoGebra. I mentioned it one of the first couple of days. What we're going to do here, or what we have here, is two lines. We got line AB and we have line CD. They are intersecting at point E. So I have measured the four main angles, and if you look at them, you can see a couple of them are equal to each other. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on one of these points and move it around, and you can see how the angles change, but there's still a relationship here. If I click on point D and move it around, you can see the angles are changing, but again, there is a relationship there. It doesn't matter what point I pick. There's a relationship happening between a couple of these angles. So I'm just going to stand here for a couple of seconds moving these things. I want you paying attention to how can you describe which angles are equal. Right now, 49.71 is there. This 49.71 is there. They're equal. The blue and green angles, they are equal to each other. How can you describe the relationship between those? Yes, they're equal, but are they opposites? Are they sharing a side? Are they formed by opposite rays? That kind of thing. Think about some of the language, all the terms that we've used to say these ones are going to be equal. They're going to be called vertical angles. How can you describe them? Now, what we're going to do is fill these blanks in class. I want to hear what you guys have to come up with, and we'll fill in the blank here and here. I think you should already know the bottom one. But, and then we'll finish up this question down here also. We'll do that in class. Okay, this last thing, it is very important. That's why I put it in the notes. It's not something you have to write down, but you have to look through it. In all of geometry, there's just a common mistake that is made looking at a picture. Okay, so this top picture here, this is what you're given. All of these little bullets here are things that, from the picture, you can say all these things are true. The big mistake is, from this given picture, trying to come up with this stuff. The stuff in that bottom picture, you cannot say that is true from the given picture up here. Okay, so again, just read through it, see what it has to say. You don't got to copy it down. Okay, we're going to do some examples in the other videos, so look for those on my site. Have a good night.